Let's do this. Okay. Braking a bit too hard. That's fine. Might even dial that out actually. So I've definitely realised this controller is a bit more sensitive than the Xbox controller in some regards, and not as sensitive in others. And I need to correct for that. Because this definitely feels better on a controller. What the hell is that? So I'm practicing brake control, and that becomes super important to be able to nail that. Oh, I was hoping to be able to stick that. Do the boring thing there. Oh, this is a good song. So catching the brake is really helping quite significantly. It felt a bit slow, but I think I was going to say that felt more like a second, but obviously not. 17 seconds off the pace, okay. So I am actually going to dial back. Actually, I might have had my settings from one of my other race cars active. That would explain a lot. And explain my throttle response a bit. So let's do that, and we'll dial it back if we need to. And in fact, I might adjust the volume because this game is now a bit too loud. Test, test, test. Relatively... Okay, I think those volume levels are good. Yeah, that's actually... I don't actually believe it'll reduce drag, but hey, whatever. I really wonder if that's been thrown in as like a gotcha and it actually doesn't do anything. So I'm definitely nailing the corners a lot better, but I definitely feel like I'm going a lot slower. Maybe that's a good thing. I mean, I did get first on that. I did get first on the first stage, so... Definitely driving more cautiously, that's for sure. Let's just reset that. Oh, actually I need to reload that browser. That's fine, can do that in a sec. Oh, I thought it was just right at the limits there, but probably pushed a bit too hard. That's alright, go flat out, get our speed back up. And then immediately cook it. So I'm just really playing with the brake control here today to just really work out if that's the final piece in the puzzle I need to solve and dial in. Full send. And the fact I can recover it now a lot more reliably is kind of nice. And be able to pull off that corner is... I've been trying to do that for a while, so that's been satisfying. But I feel if I get the proper braking, I should be able to get through this area a lot quicker. Yeah, that was way too slow. If that's the end... Oh, that's going to be 40 seconds off the pace, I want to say. Let's just reload that window. Yeah, 7th, that's not good. So... only 17 seconds off the pace, that's interesting. It's very, very interesting. And I'm only 11 seconds behind. Yeah, it seems very, very tight today, so... let's begin this. This would probably be a good place to practice brake controllers on a wet weather track. So I'm taking an initial hit on the brake, and then just feathering the brake, rather than just immediately calling it off, and that definitely seems to be helping quite a bit. Just keeping the front end down and giving me more steering. But it means I have backed off the accelerator, unfortunately. It's just a bit too sensitive when feathering. The brake comes on a bit too strongly. So let's speed back up. Go full send. Didn't work out for me, unfortunately. But there was a clip right at the beginning, which I do need to turn into a clip, where I was on all over the place and almost recovered it. So if I'm able to feather the brake, I should be able to brake less, which is somewhat counterintuitive to me, so I should be able to go faster as well. Significantly faster. Okay, so that was almost a perfect example of what I want to do, except that I went off. I just was not building power for some reason. Maybe need more throttle on that. And too wide. So not enough brake there. I think I actually came off the brake fully, and that's why I was going sideways. That seemed pretty good. Ooh, and it shows. So I'm consistently getting, well, not consistently, I'm getting a lot of firsts. And that's interesting. Okay, maybe there's not a lot of people who've done this. So the top 156. And I'm almost a minute behind. I could see that. If you're going all out, I could definitely see that. But that does that mean I'm 85% of the way down? I don't know. Yeah, it must be. No, it must be towards the end, so that's interesting. I wonder if there is an update, because I'm surprised more people haven't run that map. Oh god, this is a fun game. I don't think I need any repairs. Oh no, just engine repairs, okay. Let's take that. Full send right at the beginning. And remember we're practicing brake controls. So that means we tap the brake and then we just feather the brake until we're confident in our turn. Definitely keeping me on the road a lot more, which is nice. Car feels a lot more controllable, but that in itself is bad because I should feel a bit uncomfortable at least. Those two blind jumps normally get me, so to actually nail them for once is kind of nice. Yeah, if I'm feeling comfortable with the car and fully in control, I'm not pushing it hard enough. Bring that and recover it. And just go all out. Just adjust slightly. Oops. Brake there and suddenly gained a whole lot of grip I didn't expect because I was probably in the air and just landed. And just turned in slightly too much there and just had to do a minor correction. Okay, so let's bring it down, and that's once again too much air caused me to gain a lot of grip. Actually, maybe I need to play with the weight transfer more with the RC cars. And I actually probably need to do that with the Dakar truck as well. That could be interesting. Flip around. Not quite how I wanted to, but that's fine. It wasn't too bad. And yeah. Get back up to speed. So I'm not really hitting the speeds I need to be, I think. I'm focusing too much on the braking and suffering for that. Although this new braking tactic is really, really working for me, so I need to look at more leadership, leaderboard stuff in a moment, and see how, if my lap times compared to everyone else internationally has been coming down as well. So 237, that's about where I sit normally. Maybe 280 is more where I sit, but if I've gone from 280 down to 230, I must be doing pretty well. So I think I've got one more, I don't know what if you call it round or season or... Okay, so the next person was 2 seconds up, so close, but that was good. I will take first. Well, I did take first. Ha! My jokes are bad. So I've done first throughout this entire batch. That's really interesting. So there's probably a general improvement on my end, hopefully. And all with this car as well, so... Yeah, it cooked it. Didn't take off enough initial brake. But I think I feathered the brake correctly after that, so... I need to work out how I can determine how much brake to actually apply a bit better. There we go. Maybe I was airborne there, not sure why I wasn't getting the grip I was expecting. Well, it is wet. And there was a bit of a jump there. Yeah, actually it is wet, and I'm not paying attention to that fact. And this is Germany. Great. So we've got the headstones on the side of the road. But at least there's a lot of point and shoot tracks. So let's focus on just staying on the road itself. I can hear that turbocharger spooling up. God, it sounds wonderful. I really love how they implemented turbochargers in this. It's kind of awesome. It's not something I've really ever noticed or paid attention to before, but it's just really readily apparent in this game. And I need to realize I've got more lock on my steering wheels to be able to play with. So it wasn't going fast enough and not braking hard enough. Still a lot of sliding. Yeah, okay. Decelerated too slowly and didn't have enough front weight on the front. And then I just cooked it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really seeing now how the wet weather changes the braking points quite significantly if you've got proper braking technique. And I don't even think I have proper braking technique, but it is definitely flowing it. Glad I didn't go off there. Just a bit more of that turning lock. Whoa, flippy. That's going to cost me. Straight and fire. Get back on, there we go. Wide open turn. Didn't want to come out so tight. It's going to switch back here in a minute because I can see the road to my left. And cook that. It's all the way, or all over the track on the way up to the braking zone, so... Good. Turn in and don't go off. There we go. And we're going to be going too slow through here, so slow right down. And go full pelt. And there should be another turn up ahead. Cautiously just applied some extra brake. Yeah, that was too fast. I think that with the wet weather, that corner is actually going to be particularly difficult. If I do end up sideways while braking, that's just a bad spot to be. There's no recovering from that, it seems. Alright, turn-in wasn't bad there. Oh. God, those pedestrians and those headstones. I know they're not headstones, but everyone refers to them as headstones for a very good reason. In this game, at least. There we go. That feels slow. That looks like it was first. Wow, 2 minutes behind. I'm not going to say that makes it very, very easy for me, but... So we've got a couple of night ones. I think this is a shoe-in for taking this entire season. Bit of torque steer off the line there and had to correct for that. Just a slight little tap to get back in line. So let off some speed with a full brake, and then just feathered the brake until I was at the right angle. Nice little drift there. Get straight and then accelerate. Whoops, too far. Too early. Okay, good. The German tracks seem a bit easy with this technique, which is nice. That and backing off the speed, and I think that's one of the biggest helps. As long as you don't have damaged suspension, it's fairly easy to go straight. And Germany seems to have a lot of straight tracks. And, sorry, I realised how badly I was cooking that. And not even anything in the oven to show off with. I actually suspect I can go significantly faster through those with a bit of technique, but the jump from slow to fast through there is a rather large one, and I don't know if I'm able to... I'm going to have to practice, basically. Drive to the limits of the road here. Don't want to hit a tombstone. Oh, back off, bit of brake to regain stability, and then cut it too early. A lot of precision in this track. There we go. Find my path through the headstones. It's cutting a bit tighter than I like, but I made it luckily, and almost clipped on the left side there. Problem is, I find is that those headstones just really blend in, and it's very easy to plan a corner. It's got a lot of tolerance for going off the track. If you do make a mistake, and you just don't get that in Germany. Stick back in, yep. Not going to risk that because I don't want to take the speed penalty if I hit. And nice straight section. Right hand turn up ahead. Get back up to speed. Then back off and just idle it through that corner. Back up to speed again. Back off. That's a asymmetrical corner. Kind of deceptive. Bit of a jump there. Line it back up. There we go. Just a brief kiss to the stones. Not violent and not the blimey stone. And now straight ahead. And even though there was a turn, I was actually already perfectly lined up for the straight, so I was able to just take my hands off the wheel for a bit and let the car do the driving. Ooh, and cooked it. So it's interesting, some cars are much faster going from forward to reverse and vice versa, whereas cars like this seem to be a bit slower. And I do have to take that into account when I'm assessing the risk on a turn and having to factor in recovery times. Which I'm not doing it on pen and paper, obviously, but I am factoring that into how risky each turn is and how much I want to risk. Oh, and right into the tree. And that's probably the end right up there. So let's go full pelt. There we go. So where did that put me? In first. Why is that? Because I only just narrowly won. Interesting. So in terms of results, it's still 2 minutes up. So the rest should be pretty safe. I only have to really worry on that 4 kilometer run or just really horribly screwing up this 4 kilometer track. So turn off the turn left off the bat. So don't go full throttle, just edge the corner. There we go, that was perfect. If I had tapped the accelerator anymore, I would have ended up into that pole, so... And actually accelerated in the turn out because I felt I could control it and I was exactly right on that in that regard. Tapping the brake there just to be able to make that corner. Just playing it very, very safe if anything. Happy with that turn there. Oops, back on the track and cooked it again. That's fine. Well within the capabilities of the car in that corner. Bit of acceleration to get around the corner there. Just going to take that speed penalty from slowing all the way down. Let the brakes do the turning there, and up here we'll do the same thing. And I came to a complete stop, which is not good, but that's alright. Only a tap on the brakes there, because it's fairly easy to get through. Almost missed that. Don't want to cook that turn. So that feels about 10 seconds off the pace. There are a lot of opportunities to go faster, although the corners were taken particularly well, I think. Yeah, so I only just won on that. but I still won. And that, coupled with being 2 minutes up, is pretty good. So we're actually approaching the end of the Group S, which means the Group A is after this, which is a much more modern stuff. But more importantly, I finished 1991. And the moment I finish 1991, I get the Dakar rally truck, which we will be taking out almost immediately, because that is my current obsession. So how are we going to approach that? There we go. So I'm not particularly happy with how I'm going through here. Oh, stone. God, those pedestrians every single time. Like, I love the game developers for a lot of things about this game, but wow, I'm sure they're trolling me with that corner. Okay, and we managed to not go too badly through there. Still cost us a lot of time. And here, just overcooked it as well. So I don't want to say it would have been a 5-second penalty as if I had to reset the car, but we were getting there, probably about 4 seconds. 3 or 4 seconds. So that was twice, so we're looking at anywhere between 6 to 8 seconds. That was the hitting the brake too early. And no confidence on that part, which is my fault. And we'll have to take that 5-second penalty. So that 5 second at least was self-inflicted and not necessary. So once I see the car oversteering, that's generally when I'll start tapping the throttle, depending on the type of corner I'm on. Oops, oh, I cooked it. Yeah, that was bad. Was not driving to the limits of the road. If you can get on the turn at the right time as well, it's amazing how much of a difference. Oh, I was supposed to tap brake rather than accelerate there. So let's bring this around. Okay. Just nice and gingerly, because I don't know what's coming up ahead. But it looks like a straight, so we're just going to gun it. Max send. And we're going to just slightly back off here, because that turn gets sharp very, very quickly. Still managed to cook it, but at least we didn't do a reset. And I was getting a bit shaky though, so I had to just slow the car down and get it back in line. And to the left it looks like we've got some hay bales coming up, so we'll just have to be careful around that. Line ourselves up. Or some very poor definition of lining ourselves up. Glad I saw the headstones at the last second as well, so I didn't impact that. But we'll just be careful so we don't run into that. And that looks like the end to our left there. Oh no, looking at how much distance we've got on the track. Looks like there's a bit more. Or a lot more. No, come on. Yeah, I'm going to reset the car. Awesome. So I mean, today's plan is all about brake control. At the expense of throttle. I kind of, at least being able to judge corners, kind of had that down pat at last session. I'm going to have to retrain that after this. Got to be careful when talking and driving. Doesn't quite work for me. There we go. That in and accelerate, good. Back off the send. I should have had more power and braked a bit later there. Kind of wish the brake lights lit up a bit more, just to give you a better indication of when I am actually braking. Oh, and managed to slide back in line, that's great. Oh, is there just one gravestone? No, they're just really, really poorly coloured. Okay, that was embarrassing. So I was going to say we're going to do a recovery, but a manual recovery, but looks like I got hit with the automatic out of bounds recovery. So tap the brake to line us back up for that turn. Accelerate. And I should have kept trailing throttle there, but whatever. And I might have been able to avoid that second sort of braking and just drifted in. .101 on the end there wasn't bad. Yeah, that did feel a bit slow. How far? 17 seconds is pretty close. That said, that is pretty close. Previously it would have been a lot further off. So how far are we ahead? We're now gaining, so we're doing particularly well. And we should be coming up to the last round of Group S now. Which somehow I've managed to win nearly every single season and most of the stages, at least in this part I've been streaming today, or in the last half hour. Oh, actually, I don't think I need to repair. Yeah, no, I'm good for repairs. So that's been a big one for me, is basically not damaging the car at all in most of my runs. Well, this is actually going to be exceptionally difficult. So I'm going to probably turn up the damage model from now on. And I was focusing at the wrong thing and not looking at the tombstones coming up. So I'm going to shut up now and just drive. Which hopefully is the only reason people come here for, and not my personality. Okay. Throttle and brake are not the same thing. And you've got to remember to brake, which is the other thing. I'm also trying to Iron Man this and avoid a lot of those automatic restarts, so that was kind of embarrassing. Interrupt that drift midway as well, just to make sure I stayed on the track. And there as well, just to line myself up a bit better. Just gently on the accelerator, and now we'll hammer it. And I'm not going to go full send on that one because I have to make this corner. And lost it. I should have actually braked to realign that rather than just let the car come to a halt. And that screwed me up for the second turn. That's alright, I was slow enough that that was pretty easy to maneuver around. Full send, brake, turn. Oh, into the ditch. That's going to be a restart. So I'm going to get it on that restart early. And it would have been tempting to accelerate earlier, but that would have put me up the side of the hill and caused me additional problems. So I want to say that's 15 seconds too slow. 15 seconds exactly on the dot, yeah. So in terms of my estimation of what the pace is, that is actually pretty accurate, which is kind of nice. It's not a skill I sought to develop, but started looking at the times and then just guessing, and was getting normally within a second every single time. So allows me to sort of assess where I am performance-wise and what I need to improve. So let's see, we had one, or was it two resets, which was a 5-second penalty, plus the cost of getting into that bad state in the first place. So if we hadn't have done one of those resets, would have been 7 seconds, so we would have been in second. And if there was a second one where I did do a reset, then we probably would have come first on that. If I keep this up, I'll have to bump up the AI as well, I think. Not that you're actually racing against the AI, I'm pretty sure it's just randomly generated, but... So those are some nice results there. First. First time I've ever done that. I've been picking up individual series as coming in first, but that was pretty impressive. And we finally get the Dakar truck. Great. I'm gonna grab a drink while I marvel at everything I've unlocked. And we've now unlocked the Group S. Group B, but a bit faster. And I finally got that achievement. Now I don't know if I'm gonna... We're gonna take a look at Group S. Just a sneak peek. Wait, what? Actually, that's why. Group A, sorry. So we're up to 1996. However, we are going to free roam this. The question is, what track do we want? And honestly, I think this will be the perfect location. And there we have it. In fact, before we do that, let's see how far I've gone through the unlocks. All those cars. All those cars. So I still have to complete 1995 for that. So that's another achievement, is to unlock all the cars, and I have to complete that one. So it looks like I've got 4 cars to unlock, and that'll be one each season in Group A. I've got all these, and that, with the bonus liveries as well. I was hoping for something a bit better. That's a bit of a fun car to go, but to drive with, but it is a bit slow. Okay, so which livery do we want here? Actually kind of partial to the green, that's also good, and I do like that one a lot. But I don't like that the back is black. Being able to see how your car is orientating the turn is actually pretty important. And it's particularly bad at night, so I actually do feel that colour plays a huge choice. Well, choosing your car's colour really helps with some aspects of the driving under particular conditions. So anywhere where it's dark, so rain and night in particular, because you don't want to just focus on where your headlights are pointing, especially because they're not pointing straight, they're also pointing out to the side. In fact, I just realised my webcam is missing. How do I fix that? Oh, I'll fix that later. My face doesn't actually matter. I'm making a lot of hand movements at the moment and trying to indicate things, and that's just not coming through because there is no video. But as I've said a couple of times, I hope you're here for the driving footage and not for my face. Oh. This is a beast. Okay, so you really have to brake to dig in. But this seems like it's got a lot of momentum. And also likes to go onto 2 wheels, wow. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. That will really turn in if you let it. That noise is incredible. Whoa, this might be an actually really, really good drifting machine. Maybe I want to take this to Japan. Just saying. Surprisingly nimble. If you tap those brakes, it will turn, but the cost of that is... Can I go over it? I was hoping like a Dakar trolley would just plow through it. The cost is you lose speed, and from 0 this might build a lot of speed, but if you lose a bit of speed and RPMs more importantly and try and get it back, it just does not come back nearly as quickly. So once again, it's one of those problems I think you can solve by being manual and manually controlling the RPM range you're in via changing gears. I'm actually surprised I'm not tipping this over. I think it's been a bit too nice on me by not doing that. No, and we pull it off. And I'm just going to put that down to skill, because I don't want to accept the fact that it wouldn't be and I just got lucky. So I've actually been scouring footage on YouTube and Twitch to find someone who's been driving this, and found absolute nothing. So I'm kind of glad I finally got to, or I finally got here. This was my, the one goal I had in, well, I've got 2 goals. One is to get all the achievements, and I'm on the way to doing that. The hardest one is going to be taking the A86 out on the Japan track for 555 kilometers, and the other one was to get the Dakar rally truck. So for those who are not aware and don't follow me on YouTube, I'm actually in the process of building a Dakar rally truck RC car. Yeah, the interesting thing about Dakar rally trucks as an RC car is you can't buy them. No manufacturer makes them. All the ones you see on YouTube, well, sorry, there is one manufacturer that makes them, but the majority of the ones you see are completely custom built. So it's a bit of a rite of passage. But I want to kind of get to the point where I can make a kit that people can buy. And so I'm calling this product research. Oh. And I just love the footage of the Dakar trucks. It seems like such a stupid idea, but if you look into the history of why Dakar trucks are a thing, it's actually kind of interesting. So with the Dakar cars, there's some very, very weird rules in that if you touch someone else's car, you're disqualified. So the other problem is that cars break down, and these are long distance races and they need parts, but you can't get outside help, like you can't actually call for a truck. But what you can do as a manufacturer is register both a car and a truck. And then what happens is if the car breaks down, the truck happens to be carrying parts by pure coincidence, and these are parts that don't work on the truck at all. And they may happen to touch your car and be disqualified. And they might happen to actually repair your car for you, and that's alright because you're not disqualified, but the truck is. So the trucks are this weird thing in that they're actually the mechanics racing, and if they have to fix a car, they have to pull out. But if they're not, then they get to just go all out and race as their own series. And it blows my mind that someone would find a loophole like that and actually go off and do that. So we're going to go up here, I think. And they're so heavy and they're so stupid and they just sound incredible. And the speeds these things go at blew my mind. Like I'm driving this slowly because I'm still trying to work with the engine. But the Dakar truck drivers drive harder than the rally drivers sometimes. And Red Bull has some incredible footage where they've got the car drivers working in tandem with the truck drivers in order to produce some spectacular footage. And my god, it's incredible to see one of these a metre or two in the air and then just land it. I would love to be in the cockpit of one of these for a race or whatever, just to experience it at least once in my life. Because I really feel these are rather unique. Not the most unique, but they push all my buttons basically. Whoa, okay. So I just tapped the brake and gained a lot of grip, and then when I lined it up, it still had way too much grip. Now, we're going to do this and then do it. So in a Dakar rally, a jump like that would actually happen, which is kind of scary, especially when they're going over the sand dunes. If they create a DLC for this, I really hope they create some more like sand dune like stuff where this would be great. In fact, if they add more rally trucks, I wouldn't be opposed to that either. And seeing it how the car just bounced up, I realise the physics model for this is not going to be totally accurate, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless. God. The other one is stadium trucks. They're really interesting. So if you hammer a stadium truck, there's normally so much torque in the drivetrain that you lift a wheel like half a metre off the ground if you're in a sharp turn. And that's just crazy to watch. And I'm sure it generates a whole lot of asymmetrical steering conditions that are throttle dependent. And it's actually one of the reasons why I've got the Traxxas UDR, which is solid rear axle, a lot of rear travel, independent wishbone suspension at the front. That's one of the larger vehicles I own, and basically because I saw a lot of images of that getting air, and wow, can that thing get air and then just stick it. I need to be using the clutch more to maintain the RPMs. That's going to, yeah, just bounce right up. That's kind of silly. We'll reset that. Now it doesn't always put me in the direction I want to be, so I've got to always double check and orientate myself to get into the direction I want it to be going. And we just have to be a bit careful when we're off-road. I want to say that this is probably a bit too performant. But maybe I have to keep the speed in mind as well. It feels like it's going fast, but compared to some of the other vehicles, it's definitely not. Oh, come on. There we go. And there's a power band. Don't want to go over the edge there. A bit of extra braking. Okay, I think we have to take this on a time attack. And do very, very poorly, but have a lot of fun. Okay, so coming off the accelerator doesn't dig the front end. Now that's interesting because I've been playing a lot with the weight moving around to help me turn a lot sharper. Yeah, so if you tap the brakes, that digs the front end, especially on this vehicle, and really gives you a lot of additional grip. So this is like some of the other cars, but a bit more exaggerated. I don't know how representative this is of a true Dakar truck, but that's not going to stop me from enjoying the experience and enjoying it a lot. And that audio, that engine is sounding incredible. I actually forgot to see if this was turbo or supercharged. Because being a diesel engine, I kind of would expect one of those. Wow, this actually does maintain a lot of speed through the corners, which is kind of surprising. I also want to see if I can get it up to its maximum speed and work out where that point is as well. So the braking actually sort of feels like what I'm expecting. And I'm now the wrong way around, so let's do a 3-point turn. So actually one of the interesting things that is funny is the transition from forward to reverse carries a lot of momentum. Descendant. Which is interesting. So it's been my experience as well that when you've got this much weight that even if you, when you're swinging from brake to reverse, you have to deal with the car continuing to trug along, and with a lot of the truck driving simulators I've been playing as of late, that's also been very much the case, and you have to deal with that. So if we go back to the RC car stuff I'm working on, RC cars don't have a lot of weight, and while this chassis will be carrying a lot of weight and have some of that weight transitioning and wanting to move forward even after you've taken your foot off the throttle, I'm still going to have to add a bit more in software just to make the truck feel heavy, even though it isn't actually heavy. And you could just put more weight on it, but the problem is that then I have to deal with the additional load on the suspension, and I'm trying to keep the suspension nice and responsive and act like the real truck. So as you scale things down, different aspects scale in different ratios, and suspension is one of those things that scales fairly accurately, but the problem is that the world is not so friendly, and the relative size of objects like a pebble don't scale up and down as well. And so while your suspension is scaled down perfectly, the obstacles you're going over are actually more extreme, and therefore you actually have to make the suspension more responsive than the real thing. But luckily that's easy to do. It's very easy to shave weight when you're already very, very light on the suspension system. So less talking, more sending. So that was done almost full acceleration, which was kind of nice. So this would be a very, very fun vehicle. I could see this competing against the early series quite well, where this probably accelerates faster in some areas and maybe even slightly higher in top speed, but would be somewhat comparable in many degrees, or in some fashion I should say. And back off the accelerator, and yeah, so that was good in two regards. One is that it was almost 100% the entire time, but if you come off the throttle at the wrong time, it digs in and fishtails, and when this fishtails it's significantly worse than the other vehicles. Okay, I did want to try that. I swear that looks like a smiley face on top. You know what, it actually looks like the creeper from Minecraft. I might even call this the creeper truck. Yeah, the idea that I could just do a mini drift there was kind of blowing my mind. Okay, so let's tap the brakes, and then, no, too much braking. I was hoping to tap the brakes, then go a bit lighter and feather it, and then just dump on the power. But I think I also dropped too many RPMs. So I need to be using the clutch more to be able to keep that RPM rate up. There's the power band, right there. So I'm just going to... So that didn't work out well too. Yeah, so perhaps if you drop down to 3, that would have got me up that hill a bit faster. Okay. I feel this game has rewarded me suitably for all the effort I put in. So I think I'm actually up to hour 20 now in this game, and this game only came out I think Thursday last week. So just shy of 5 hours per day over the last couple of days should show you how much I'm enjoying this game. just continually throw new challenges at me, and I've still got a lot to learn. And unlike a simulator, there's a lot more fun involved, and so it's been very, very addicting in that regard. Not quite a full simulator, but a lot of aspects there. But enough of both the fun and the simulation to just hit this really, really nice and interesting balance. And if I had to sum up this game in one word, and I've seen other people do it and say other things, but for me it's balance or polish. Like, this game is just so well done in so many degrees, or aspects I should say. It's been a long day, and I've only had about 3 hours sleep in the last 48 hours, so my words are going to be all over the place. And if anyone's looking for June's truck, that's where it is on the map. It took me a while to find that one, and I found it again. And you just run into it and you get the unlock. Not exactly sure what it unlocks, or if it's just something to collect. So let's take a left here. So I got a surge of power just as I was about to brake, which wasn't good. I'm very tempted to go off and try the logging truck to see if it's similar to this. I did give it a quick go when I was playing via Streamlink, and that was a bit difficult. But now that I'm in front of the machine, maybe I'll give it another go. It was the first time with the controller I was using for that, so just on my mobile phone. No, I thought that actually, I didn't think that was a U-turn. It's kind of funny with how high this vehicle is and with the tires the way they are. On some of the stones and such, you can just climb over the top of them, which is pretty crazy. I definitely need to improve my driving technique. So one of the interesting things I've found is I plugged a G29 steering wheel and pedals into this, and if you've got the pedals for this, wow, does it really help with this game. But unfortunately, I found the G29 had a really, really bad dead spot at the top, and that's why I think this game is really optimized for controllers where that dead spot is not immediately, well, it has to do with the, I guess, the response on the control. So with a joystick, a minor move does a large swing. With a steering wheel, it's the other way around. A minor move does a minor move. And so it seems like it's not a linear translation from the gamepad or whatever to your actual steering response. And because of the way it's set up and optimized for the controller, that's at the expense of a steering wheel, which means making very, very fine adjustments is actually really, really difficult. You have to swing the controller left and right quite a bit, which would just be the slightest touch with a controller. So, luckily for me, with the transmitter I'm using, as this is a full-blown Pro RC transmitter, I can just change my throttle and steering response curve and dial that out quite easily. But it still takes quite a bit of work to get that set up. Only about a minute or two, but it's still something you have to consider. Okay, so let's try the logging truck, and then I'm going to call it for a day. And then I'm going to get a complete Group A, and I'll be happy. And I should get a whole lot of completion stuff in Steam for that, which, as I said, was one of my goals, so I should really do the daily, but we'll worry about that another time. Wow, okay, so no one's No one's doing the Group A's. You know what? Logging trucks, Tri-Wheelers, vans. I am going to go off and get first in something. Can I? Trucks. I also want to see what the lights are on this thing. So let's do that. This is a really, really cheap way of doing it, but hey, you know what? This is my stream. I'm going to do what I want. I don't get to have enough fun these days. So I need to work on the lighting kit for my Dakar truck as well. I calculated I'm going to need something like 32 lights at the minimum to accurately represent the lights that are normally on a truck. And if you look at each one drawing up to a maximum of 20 milliamps, it turns out that's quite a significant amount of power draw, and you actually do have to worry about the amount of current flowing through the system when you're doing that much. Like, I could quite easily ignite the entire vehicle. So you can see the white truck is a bit easier to see at night. This is actually a much more, a better vehicle than I'd give it credit for, or than most people give it credit for. I really hope people don't miss this as a bit of a fun hidden gem. I'm actually not driving particularly well either. I shouldn't have chosen night, but I did want to see how the lights looked. Oh, I'm going to have to recover that. There we go. So we're about halfway through at the moment. Maybe the German tracks would actually be pretty good for this now that I think about it. Even though they've got the stuff on the side of the road, I actually wonder if you could A, drive over the top of them, but B, considering how this thing handles at speed, perhaps that's not much of an issue. You might be able to just go full out most of the time. Yeah, right over the rock in this. That is kind of insane. Back out a bit more. Having to deal with the car continuing on even after I've changed the direction from reverse to power mode on the throttle. And some of the cars are a lot sharper. So that was bad, but you know what? I just got... Oh, what? I went down the leaderboard? You're kidding. That's a shame. Still, 19th is pretty good. Wow, 45 seconds off the pace. I'd love to see the replay of that. Alright, we're onto the logging trucks, and just continue here, don't I? So that Dakar truck is a lot of fun. I really can't wait till I get better with that. Oh, was that free room? No, it wasn't free room. So I do like the other vehicles, and I will be focusing a lot of my time on that, but I definitely think I will be playing around and just having some fun with the more powerful 1000 horsepower heavy beasts. And no, I'm not talking about Group A. So let's see how this operates. Slow initially. I've got a feeling this is just... Oh wow, wow, I'm not even turning the steering wheel and it's just staying in that drift. Oh, that's a bit better. Okay. This might be a hidden drifting vehicle. That's kind of interesting. So once you let off the throttle a bit, this turns brilliantly. So yeah, I can really see if you're focusing on getting angle and angle of attack from the drifting, this might work really, really well. Now I'm just going to quickly check something. I just want to make sure I didn't accidentally turn this into a manual somehow. Controls, shift up and shift down. Okay. So let's try that. We're going to go up. So I'm just going to go straight and no, okay, I can't change gears. So this has only got one gear. That's interesting. And it's slow off the line, but once you get up to speed, it's actually very, very controllable for one, but it just stays there. So I'm assuming, and don't forget this is uphill as well. I'm assuming this has just got a lot of torque. And if I do a sharper left turn here, oh, probably a bit better than that. So I'm going to go downhill and see if that gives us any extra speed. Nope. How about this turn? Alright. Let's put the back end out a bit. Yeah, okay, so you let off the throttle a bit. This has got a very arcadey feel to it. So I'm guessing those actual bonus vehicles, probably a lot of people are going to give them a bit of a pass. But I think there might actually be a bit of fun to have here. So if you're getting a bit tired of the actual rally aspect of it and you just want to go off and just have a bit more of an arcade feel to it, you can give that a go. So that makes me wonder. Let's take a look at what else is available. So this is fun, but this is a bit slow as well. It'll be the one we're taking out, but I want to play with the vans as well. These are all 1,000 horsepower, and I did some of the free roam last night and a bit of completion stuff with these vehicles, and if you can get these two up to speed, they're actually not that bad. Although there is a Group A, no, it's Group B or S van. Yeah, I want to know how performant that is. That'd be interesting to know. So let's take the trike out, see how that operates. And then I'm going to grab something to eat. So we're just going to stay in this local this area for the this thing. So as you can see, the tuk-tuk accelerates really, really slowly. Fairly decent turning. Surprised it doesn't actually have more turning. Okay, so you get this in the right rev range, which may involve going straight. Yeah, okay. This is going to be another one where manual is probably going to be where you want to be playing around with this one. Yeah, going up into third is dangerous. So let's take it for a quick run. Whoa, okay. Whoa, okay. This is going to be another fun mode vehicle. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for joining me, for everyone who's popped by. I'll be playing this for the rest of the week and trying to finish off Group A. So feel free to jump in around this time and hopefully you'll be able to catch me, and see you around. Goodbye.